Today I'll be removing driver's side control arm, and it's right here, and this is on a 2016 Subaru WRX. So this is the control arm right here, lower control arm. First we're going to start is removing the wheel. Actually, first you got to jack the car up and put it on jack stands, and now you can remove the wheel. Alright, it's going to be a 19 millimeter. Alright, you can now remove the wheel. Let me set it down. Now we could remove this bolt right here. This is your lower ball joint. We gotta remove this cotter pin. So you gotta bend the cotter pin and remove it. It's a 19 millimeter also. Alright, next we gotta remove your stabilizer link. This one right here. This is the lower bolt. That's the one that's on the control arm. Alright, it's a 19 millimeter also. But you see I put the adapter on because I couldn't use my tool. So I'm gonna press it. You see the whole thing is spinning. That means I gotta hold it with the wrench right here. Okay, so I grabbed the 18 millimeter wrench. I'll be putting it right here, and I'm gonna grab my tool, my impact, and I'm gonna remove this nut right here. Okay, I was able to slowly tap this out with a hammer, and I got this out. And I put the nut back on. And next, I'm gonna do the lower ball joint. You can grab a hammer and slowly tap it. You can see mine went down. And now I put the nut on here too, so it won't come off. And mine had a nut and a washer on top. And now the control arm from the ball joint should come off. You can see it's free, it's almost free. There you go, it's free. Now we just have a bolt there, right there holding one, and one right there. So I found an easier way. I'm gonna grab a 17 wrench and put it right here, and then remove this bracket, just this bracket right here, just two bolts. And then I can get to this bolt right here. Right here, I can get to this bolt right here with my tool. Alright, so for this side, for this bolt, I grabbed a ratchet, so I went underneath here. And then I grabbed a wrench for this side. So I went back and forth like this. And I was able to loosen it, and I removed the nut. And here's the nut. And now I just have to get this bolt off right here. So I was thinking just maybe grabbing a hammer and hitting it, tap it lightly, so this bolt can move out of here. Actually, never mind hitting it. I was able to get this knot off. And then I was able to just ratchet it off. So I keep ratcheting it off. And then when I had enough room, I went and I pulled it out by hand. So I was able to pull it out by hand. So I did not have to hit it or nothing. So now, you can see I got it off right here. It's off. We just have to remove this bolt right here. Right here, that one. Let me see, maybe it's a 19. No, it's bigger than 19. Okay, so I tried a 20 and it doesn't seem to fit. Like it fits, but it's too loose. So I'm gonna use a 3/4. 3/4 seems to fit really good. Here's the bolt. And now you can grab probably a hammer and hammer this out so you can slide this out. Let me try doing it with one hand. So I grab the hammer. Let me try it from the top. Alright, let me try from the top. Hold on, let me get this out. Alright, so I was able to pull this side out right here from this side right here. Pull this out. And then let me try wiggling this one. Alright, there we go. So I was able to get the control arm out. Here's the control arm. The reason I'm replacing it is because mine's got bent. And yeah, it's bent a lot. So yeah. There we go. That's how it looks. Alright, so I got my new control arm from eBay. This is my new one. Well, it's used from a different car. And that's my wrecked one. You can see how bent it is compared to this one. Alright, so I was able to put this side in first. And I grabbed the hammer and I tapped it in lightly. I tapped this in and I leveled it with the hole. There's a hole right there. I leveled it perfect. And then I was able to slide this slide back in here. And I was able to level it up too with the hole. So now we can put the bolts back in. And I'll be putting some red thread locker on it. On this bolt and on this other bolt, the one with the nut. I just put some red thread locker on it. And here's the thread locker right here. Alright, so I put some thread locker on it right there. And I'll be putting it in the hole. You gotta like wiggle it so it can line itself up. So once it's lined up, you can sprint it in. And it goes easy by hand. Next, I'll be doing the same thing for this side right there. Alright, so now if you do got it, you could tap this bolt lightly in so it can go in. Because mine just fell out. So I put it back in and I tapped it lightly with the hammer. Same for this one right here. For that one, I was able to tap it in lightly too. Tap it in lightly so it can come out on the other side. Right there, it came out the other side. So I'm about to put the knot on it. Now to tighten that knot, I use the reverse, so like this. So with this one I was going up, and then the other one I was going down, and I was able to tighten it. And I did as snug as possible. And for this one, I'll be using a 3/4, and I'll be using a gun on this one. And then I'll snug it out with my hand. Okay, with your lower ball joint, you just pick this up and you grab by the knuckle and you can push this away. You can push this away and you can put this on. So once it's aligned, let me see if I can do it with one hand. There you go. I did it with one hand, and then you can put the nut, the washer, and then the nut. And you can tighten this up too. That's going to be a 19. Get this tight, and then you got to put your cotter pin back in. So you got to line that up with the hole. You got to line it up, and then you got to give this one, you got to push it in. And then you just bend these clips right here. So you bend this one that way, and bend the other one the other way. So like that. Now for your stabilizer link, I grabbed the jack and a couple blocks, or you can grab a piece of wood. we just gotta raise the control arm a little bit so I can slide this in easily. So you can see now I can push this in easily. There you go. And now I can tighten. I can put the washer on here and the nut, and I can tighten this up now. At the time of this table, I did it like this. I put a wrench on this side and a ratchet on this side, and I was able to tighten it. So I was holding it here, and I was tightening it with this. Okay, next we'll be putting that bracket back that goes right here, and a bolt right here. And if your bracket doesn't fit, make sure you check your bracket, because if your control arm's bent, because if you're replacing your control arm and it's bent from the accident, see, your bracket's bent too. So make sure you bent your bracket back. You can put it on a piece of wood and hit it to straighten it out a little bit, so this bracket can be straight now, because you can see my bracket's crooked. Now you see, if it's perfect, I can put these back and you can tighten them back up. It's a 17. Now I'll just check it with the ratchet, and I'm going to tighten them with the ratchet. Make sure they're tight. Alright, then just put your wheel back on and torque the lug nuts to 79 foot-pounds in a star pattern. And that's it, you're done.